Hey, it's Camila Stevenson, and around here we talk wealth. And I want you to put in the chat where you're coming from. I want to see where you are all over the world. It really lights me up to see where you're chiming in from. Also, hit that like button when you're coming on in and hit subscribe if you haven't already. It's a lot of people who watch the lives, watch the videos, and still has not subscribed. So please do me that favor. It doesn't cost you anything, by the way. I see I am Antoinette. I have not done my top 10, but you know what? That's something that we can talk about on the next live, which is Monday. So if you're not a part of my live membership group on YouTube, you can hit that join button. It's only $3.99 a month. And I'm telling you, it is extremely valuable, even to go back and watch some of the videos that we've already done. Hey, Tiffany, how are you? What's up from Baltimore, Connecticut? I see you from Jersey, Utah. Let me write my top 10. That will be on Monday. We'll talk about that. Hey, Seattle is here. Thank you so much. Say love the community. Texas is in the house. What's up from all over? Let me ask you a very controversial question as well. What's up from Chicago? Because I want to talk about my thoughts on Bitcoin. What's up from Las Vegas and North Carolina? What's up? I am what's Jersey in the house. Let me know if you are Costa Rica. What's up? Let me know if you're investing in Bitcoin currently. Let me know if you're investing in Bitcoin currently. I'm going to give you my honest thoughts about what I would suggest for a lot of investors right now. Hey, from London, Orlando, Arkansas. What's up? Netherlands. I love it. Melbourne, San Antonio. Hey guys, what's going on? So okay, I just want to see. I don't know if you guys are investing in Bitcoin or not right now. I see very little. I hold Bitcoin as well. No Bitcoin. I'm not investing in Bitcoin right now. And I'll tell you why. And it's some people love Bitcoin. That's fine. I'm investing in Bitcoin with my new Fold debit card. No Bitcoin, just ISO coins. Okay, I do a bit. Yeah. So I was investing in it. What's up from Norway? I was investing in Bitcoin when it was like 16,000. I wish I could have invested a lot sooner. I would have made a lot more money. I think this is pretty smart for most people. Okay. And it's okay if you already have Bitcoin. Change out my Bitcoin for XRP. Yeah. What's up from Mississippi? Let's see. I change all my Bitcoin. Yeah. I'm doing ETFs. Okay. Yeah. ETFs are really good too. From Chicago, my senator, it's time to pass the Clarity Act. All right. I really want the Clarity Act to go through. Go ahead and like the video. Let me get into it and just share my thoughts for today about Bitcoin and just my thoughts about all of it. Okay. Atlanta, what's up? You know, for honestly, for just the average person right now, I'm looking at the cycles of Bitcoin currently. Now we know that all the utility coins is still connected to Bitcoin, so they are coupled for now. Okay, I want to talk about what kind of happens when that decoupling takes place and what that would even look like, what the signs would be, and you know, personally, I'm going to just be honest. For the average person, like I know a lot of people who have, you know, a decent amount of assets and wealth, and they are investing in Bitcoin, and it makes sense. I mean, if you invested $1 million in Bitcoin and you feel like it's going to double, that makes a lot of sense. But if someone's not there and they're kind of slowly accumulating because they haven't had much time to invest, I don't know if Bitcoin would be the best investment. There's a lot of talk about Bitcoin. You have some people that feels like it's dying, and you got other people that, you know, got it connected to the Epstein files and all of that. I'm not here to be controversial about it, but I will kind of give you just some wisdom on just how I'm just thinking about it on a common sense level. You had in the beginning, you had Bitcoin in the first cycle. Remember thank you so much. This is so sweet of you. I appreciate this so much. And as an 1,000-air Bitcoin is not for me. Yeah. And so when you think about the first cycle, it had explosive returns and then it started to kind of dwindle down a bit, right? And so I'm trying to remember, like, I know the first cycle, it went from like pennies to 1,000. So if you think about that, man, that's crazy. I'm talking maybe a 10,000x. I don't get my math right, but when you go into from pennies to 1,000, you are making a lot of money. Then I think we went from around 200 to 20K, which is somewhere around 100x. And then what, 3K to like 69K, which is like a 23x. And I don't know if there was another cycle from about 15K to 73K, but I say that to say it's slowing down. Okay. So if you're thinking about like I have a lot of thoughts on that, okay, because it's slowing down, right? To me, the time and the season in which you should allocate your money is going to determine your outcome. So if you think, and I keep saying it's either $0 or $1 million, but if you think it's going to $1 million, okay, let's say that do happen, right? My question is, why are all the utility coins tied? Okay, this is a good question. I'll talk about this. I noticed the charts and asked myself, why do all the charts look the exact same? And it's so true, they do. And they are tied to Bitcoin. So I'll answer that question for you in a moment. But let's say it does go to $1 million, right? So my question is though, but which is the faster path? Is the faster path waiting for Bitcoin to 5x from here? Or is it, and I'm not trying to, I always say think long term, but I'm still saying for someone who's slowly investing, is the fastest path waiting on it to 5x or positioning in utility assets that, because it's still coupled to Bitcoin, they fall harder, but they run harder. And you have a wider gap between the bottom and the top. Hey, George, what's going on? Right? So, altcoins, they fall harder and they run harder while it's still connected to Bitcoin. That's one option. Because if Bitcoin is, again, some people say it's dying, some people say it's maturing. Either way, it's slowing down, okay? Whatever you want to call it, the math is changing on it. The asymmetric shifts are changing, okay? And the assets that's tied to infrastructure, to real usage, to systems that institutions are going to actually build, those to me become more interesting than just holding the thing that used to lead the way, okay? Because it's a storehouse, right? I'm not here to debate whether it's dead or not, because again, it could crash. Some people really strongly believe it's going to crash, or it could just pop, okay? Either way, again, they are tied to Bitcoin. And so for me, I'm not investing in Bitcoin because if the altcoins are attached to Bitcoin and Bitcoin drops, altcoins are going to drop more. That means that I feel like I can get a better, like Bitcoin is compressing. I feel like I can get a better outcome ROI on altcoins. Plus, there's a utility leverage there. There's a utility advantage there, right? So here's how I think about it. Hey, from the Philippines and Denmark. So, and I like to process what I'm thinking through this. And I'm going to share with you what I think is going to happen with the market. Okay. And what I'm doing, because I just made some moves last night as well. I just made some more moves, and I'm going to share that in a minute. Matter of fact, go ahead, like the video, subscribe. And I want to say everything I say is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes. This is for educational purposes. Do your own diligence. Don't go off and, invest according to me. You can lose all your money doing that. The great decouple. I can't wait for this to happen. Right. So again, here's my thoughts. And I'll explain to you the market, and I'll do some more education around this, but it is still coupled to Bitcoin. The market is still coupled to Bitcoin. If Bitcoin shifts being an explosive growth, fine. That's fine. But it looks like it's, growing into something a little bit more stable, or it could be fading, whatever. But it's reordering itself right now. Almost everything in the space is still priced. And this is why there's an attached to Bitcoin, because almost every asset is still priced through a liquidity lens. So that when Bitcoin moves, capital is going to rotate and then alts respond. It doesn't matter whether the underlying fundamentals are different. liquidity dominance is taking over. That it's a liquidity dominant behavior. Okay. So that's why you see in the asset space, you can see these completely different technologies, but they're moving in the same beat. You know, they move into the same beat of the drum. Okay. And no, they're not identical. We all know that they do different things, but it's because they're attached to the same flow. But if the dominant asset starts to compress, then that flow is going to change a bit of character. And you'll start to see this. So instead of capital chasing momentum like it does, it's going to start looking for differentiation. So you got to start looking for that. Now with XRP has never been positioned primarily as a scarcity asset. It's been positioned as infrastructure. Okay. That's what I like XRP. Yes, I like quant a whole lot. And I'll talk a little bit more about quant. The world is going to need quant. I mean, my goodness. Okay. So diminished returns is a real thing. If you notice, Bitcoin went from roughly 69K last cycle to 126 roughly this cycle, barely a 1x, not saying it can't go to 150 this cycle. And that's my point, is that I don't like that. Like if you I'm sorry. I don't like the fact that it's slowed down like that on a short-term level of what I should be investing into now. Now it's a one thing to reallocate your money into something a little safe, more mature, more steady. But honestly, I think in the beginning, when you don't have a lot of capital, you need to concentrate more. I don't think you should be spread thin or investing in something primarily that is going that slow in a sense. When it's up against other assets that's attached to the same into the same liquidity driver that will move much further. Okay. So again, XRP is positioned as infrastructure, cross-border settlement. We know that liquidity bridging, interoperability inside regulated systems for years. That positioning, and again, it's still tied to Bitcoin, and I think it's going to decouple very soon. But for years, that positioning hasn't, even though XRP is built in infrastructure, it still hasn't overridden the liquidity gravity. Okay, so of course, when Bitcoin goes up, XRP, all the other altcoins go up. When it bleeds, everything else bleeds. Right? That's the environment that it's been in. But if Bitcoin starts to transition into a slower moving macro asset, then the rest of the market has to almost like justify itself in a different way. So in that kind of environment, the thing that we're going to watch for isn't, does this pump with Bitcoin? It's going to be, does it integrate into real systems? So that's what we're looking for. And that's why I love everything that's happening, even with the XRP ledger. You all know that the DEX, the built-in DEX, just went live today, right? And see, some of y'all don't even know what's going on, right? Market volatility is what I love XLM. I love XLM just as much as I love almost as much as I love XRP. But yes, they're the same to me in a sense. So somebody said, open yourself a Roth IRA, and that's going to be important. And I'm going to explain to you why that's important. XLM is emerging economies and low-level consumer payment, as far as I could see. Yeah, I mean, it's fast. Anything to me that's fast settlement utility for right now, but XLM is like the same, except it's the same technology as XRP, except it's for retail. Okay. However, and I'll talk about opening up Roth IRA because I'm gonna say something that's going to happen to the majority of people. But right now, we're looking at and a lot of people are concerned about the fact that everything is coupling. Okay, they're very concerned about that. But again, there has to be a separation at some point, right? There has to be a positioning that is going to ride the liquidity gravity. Okay, so we're looking at, does it integrate into real systems? When will it really be utilized? Because capital don't just leave when growth compresses. What it does is it reallocates. It's going to look for structure advantages, okay, inside of pure asymmetry in a sense. So if Bitcoin stabilizes and it does become the reserve layer of crypto, which again, a lot of people don't think so. They believe it's going to crash, it's going to go to zero. A lot of people believe that. Again, I don't study Bitcoin as much as I do XRP. I know it can't do what XRP does. XRP sits right in the middle as a neutral asset. I love it, but Bitcoin don't really do nothing. I mean, it's a store of value. It's digital real estate. Okay, so and it's slow and boring, and that is okay when you've made a profit. Again, I think you should concentrate. I don't think you should be all over the place, and I think you should look for not risky, but look for something that is going to expand. Okay, not compress, but expand. So I believe in diversity, but I believe in the beginning you shouldn't be overly diverse. Okay. Now I'm not saying that I don't know when the decoupling takes place. I'm not sure. All right. But I believe that the market will begin separating liquidity behavior from infrastructure behavior. That's what I do believe. And if that separation starts to happen, it's going to, it will look like moments where XRP responds to like the regulatory shifts that take place, custody expansion, integration milestones, all of those, even when Bitcoin is flat. Or when it goes down or whatever, because it's completely separated, it's independent. So that's an early sign of differentiation. So again, we need to wonder not whether or not, like I'm trying to pull out of like, does it go to zero? Does it go to 1 million? Does it live? Does it die? Is it mature or whatever? I'm just trying to figure out if Bitcoin's road, if it changes enough, is it going to change enough to force everything else to stand on its own? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't care why it's changing, whether it's good or bad, but if the roles that change for Bitcoin, is it enough to force everything to stand on its own? Right? Because if it does change, if that engine changes, the entire structure built around it is going to change too, in a sense. So that's where I am on it, and just wondering. That's why I wanted to see what you guys think about the transition. Bitcoin is a store of value because it's too slow, it's clunky to be a utility coin. I agree. And I love that term clunky, because that's exactly what it is. It just cannot do what XRP can do. Okay. And it's not going to be used. It's not a utility coin. It's a store of value coin. Okay. I see I'm holding XRP, XLM, ADA, and HBAR. All right. Let me be clear about something, everybody. Let me be clear, because I want you to know where I am. Okay. Hit the like button for me. All right. I believe, I could be wrong, because we don't know what the market will do. I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying, and I'm going to stick by my word. I keep saying that I believe that the prices will crash. I believe that things will crash at some point. I've been saying it since last year. I'm like, I believe we'll have a crash in 2026. I could be wrong, right? It's not even about the charts. I'm not like the most brilliant person when looking at charts, even though the charts are screaming some things, but it's not that. It's the macro events. It's what's happening in the world. It's all the geopolitical tension. It's me feeling like they want it to crash. Okay. They want the devaluing of the dollar. I don't know how this works or anything. And that's why I've been telling you guys why I've had low limits for like XLM, why I have my limits. And I just went back, I went and added some more money to my limits, you guys. I keep telling you, I have limits for XLM at 12 cents, 11 cents, 10 cents, 9 cents, 8, all the way down to 8. Okay. My XRP orders are all the way down to 50 cents, 48 cents. I went yesterday and I added some more to my position. I actually added another layer. So I have prices going back down again to revisit like a 120, $1.20 something. I think the low would have been $1.10 on the last bottom that we went. So I would love a double bottom. Okay. And if it crunches lower than that, I have orders at $1. I have orders at around 78 cents. I even put an order in around 90 cents. I have it layered going down. Let me just say that. Okay. I have orders going down. Why? Because what I'm saying is, like, you got to prepare ahead of time for a crash. I believe a crash is coming, right? So Bitcoin will crash, but OTC liquidity will support XRP. Like, if there is a crash because of the reverse carry trade, I think XRP could also crash, but then I think it will rebound. I think all of them will rebound. Don't get me wrong. I'm bullish. I think the Clarity Act is going to skyrocket some of these utility coins, right? But I just think that before then, I think we'll have a crash. If we don't, that's fine, but I'm prepared, and I think it's going to catch people off guard, just like it always do. So I'm just saying that, and I'm positioned and I'm structured for that to happen. And I went in and I increased my sizes on my limit orders, and I've added to my XLM position. I added to my HBAR position. I added to my XRP position. I added to my Cardano position. I'm just letting you guys know, right? And so I believe that, yeah, I do believe this. XRP will rise from the ashes. I believe that if there's an event where they need to use XRP, it already has clarity. Okay. So I'm just saying, I believe that there's a lot of volatility coming. And I still think, because we're on this side movement, that if it happened, people are not going to be prepared for it. And I mean, when I say volatility, I'm talking on both sides. Okay. Yeah, HBAR. Yeah, I put some more orders in for HBAR as well. I got HBAR down to 5 cents because I like to prepare ahead of time. I don't want to be stuck trying to do this on the back end. Now, let me say something very important, because I want you guys to hear me, and I want you to hear me very clearly. Okay. Quant only has, I put orders in for Quant as well. All right. I've been buying Quant all this time anyway. And because I want strong positions of my strong utility coins that I really believe in, right? And this is so true. Most people don't even know what's happening right now. I'm prepared. I'm unprepared, and you're going to be unprepared when volatility hits. I think there may be another opportunity to get into physical metals. Okay, so get prepared for volatility and get prepared for opportunity. This is what I want to say. Like the video, I'm gonna say something very important, because the majority of people are in the middle class section. Okay, they are. And the middle class is running out of time. Okay. I'm not, and this is no shade, but I'm going to explain this. The math is changing for the middle class. The thing about it is, the middle class is the one that is going to either benefit the most or hurt the most. Okay. Why? Because wealthy people, they already own assets. So all they're going to do is expand anyway. And expansion is going to benefit them automatically. They don't have to do nothing. Their positions are going to grow. Trust me, if they're already wealthy, they're already invested in assets. The poor, they don't have the margin or the mindset to accumulate. So most of them are not even thinking about this right now. They have no clue. The poor is trying to live day to day, or whatever they're doing. And that's just the reality. Nothing against that. But the middle class, let me tell you why the middle class is going to suffer the most or be blessed the most. Because the middle class, think about this, has more options. You got income, you got retirement. Middle class have brokerage accounts. They have access to digital asset platforms. They have exposure to information. You have the ability to position yourself differently if you're a part of the middle class. But guess what? The middle class, guess what? Some of them don't have. What they do not have that I think that they should really have is urgency. Is urgency. You know why? Because a lot of the middle class think that they can wait this out. They think that they can buy themselves some more time. And let me tell you something, even if you do nothing, even if you do not overspend, if you don't make any mistakes, if you play it safe, inflation is going to eat your tail up. It's going to outpace you. You got mortgage, you got insurance, you got bills. The cost of staying in place keeps rising. And if that happens and inflation continues and assets reprice while you're waiting, now it's going to cost you even more to buy in. So the window is shrinking. All right. So you're going to either end up in two places. You're going to either end up positioning now and moving up, or you're going to stay still and you're going to slowly slide down. The middle is disappearing, guys. It's going to get X'd out. So I want to be very clear on that. You know what I'm saying? This is the season right now where you have the ability to reallocate, to restructure, to get exposure to the new wave of financial infrastructure. This is why I talk about brokerage accounts. And if you have a retirement account, this is one of the reasons why I promote ITRUST Capital, is because if you have a retirement account, a IRA, a Roth, anything like that, it's probably sitting in traditional assets right now, stocks, bonds, maybe a target date fund or whatever. That's fine. Especially, oh man, because some people's jobs, they match them really good. And I'm like, never come away from free money. But even if you took a small amount of that to expose yourself to digital assets, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have the option to move some of that into digital assets with a tax advantage. So with iTrust, you can hold crypto inside of a Roth IRA. That means, and somebody just mentioned that not too long ago, that means if it grows, then that growth is tax-free. So you're not giving up 20%, 30%, 40%, or whatever on taxes later. You keep all of it, okay? So, and if you're sitting on a 401k that's entirely tied again to traditional markets, you at least owe it to yourself to understand what options are available for you. That's why I'm telling you this. So that's awesome. You know, just to expose yourself, even if it's a small amount, whatever that looks like. They also do have a premium custody account, institutional grade, of course, if you want flexibility without the retirement. No monthly fees, transparent pricing. They have, if you open an account, also they do give you, with the link in the description, they give you $100 free funding bonus. You know, another thing too is because some of you all don't have, again, you know, I was organizing some stuff last night, taking a little bit more because I sometimes still buy on the exchanges. So I've been moving some of my stuff off the exchanges, the rest of my stuff off the exchanges. I don't have no XRP on the exchanges for sure. But Tangem is a cold wallet. Get your stuff off the exchanges, put them in a cold wallet as well. Always have something in a cold wallet for sure. But if you are holding digital assets on an exchange and then you don't control them, they owe you it. So you can also move it to Tangem, move it to a cold wallet. Okay. And Tangem basically is a card. It looks like a little credit card and it holds your private keys offline. Okay. So that's the security part, but you manage everything through a mobile app. So all you do is you tap the card on your phone to approve the transactions. So you can get that hardware wallet protection with the convenience of doing everything right from your phone. You can buy, you can sell. Even Tangem got yield. If you got your stuff in cold wallet, you got Ethereum, Solana, USD, they have yield too. They also have it on iTrust. So wherever your stuff is, as you're setting things up, you can still benefit right now from that. Okay. Also, I think Tangem, I want to say they got it's February. They do have a special going on in February where you get like a $20, you get $20 in Bitcoin and an extra $10 off until like March 2nd. So you can get 3 cards. I think they're like usually about $70. It's like 55 now, right? So if you use the link in the description, you'll get 10% off also, right? So how do you move HBAR and Quant to Ledger Nano X? You got to make sure that Nano X allows you to move HBAR. I don't know if all of them don't allow for HBAR to move into their wallets. But anyway, you have to download those. You have to download their ledgers. You have to download it, okay, on the Nano X. And then you have to get the address from the Nano X. And then you have to take your crypto and you have to go to the exchanges and you have to put that address and tell the exchanges that you're moving your crypto to that address. But the address is going to be gotten from the Nano X. Okay. So, yes, they work really well too. And I have the 2.0 Titan as well and the X. Okay. So they have the little cards too. So, but regardless of which one you choose, I have a lot of different cold wallets. Okay. To me, Tangem is the easiest, especially if you don't have a cold wallet, but it's very, very easy to manage and it's affordable. So some of the other ones are a little bit more expensive. So that's why I like to promote them. You need to remove XRP off of Webull. Yeah, I would move your cryptocurrency off of Webull. I will move it off of Webull. I wouldn't hold any cryptocurrency on like a Webull or a Robinhood or anything like that. I love SoFi, but I don't even want to buy any cryptocurrency there. It's decent. Yeah, I like decent. I have a decent wallet as well. Like I said, I have a lot of wallets. That's why I'm telling you which one I usually recommend to the average person. They all have different functions that I love. But decent is not good for like somebody new or somebody who don't want no complication, because it's a bit complicated with how you have to come up with your C words in there. And as even when I was doing it, when I did my decent, I was like, nah, most people ain't gonna want to do this. So yeah, but I like decent. I do. And I have a decent cold wallet as well. Right. So and yeah, you see some people, and that's why I'm saying, like, even though I promote Tangem, I want to put on here what other people love as well, because you may not choose that. If you do choose it, then the link is in the description. But I don't want you to think that that's the only cold wallet, because I'm telling you, I have a lot of different cold wallets, right? So yes, Kraken owes you your crypto. And I keep using that language because I want you to understand that. Kraken owes you your XRP. Kraken owes you your Quant. Kraken owes you your Flare. Kraken owes you your Cardano. Whatever you have there, Kraken owes you. You don't own it at all. So you can move some of it to, you can't move it into a Roth IRA. You have to move money if you want a Roth IRA, but you can move it to their premium custody account for ITRUST Capital as well. But you can move it also to a cold wallet. So you can do both, right? I think you should do both, as a matter of fact, because those different accounts do different things. Okay. So can ITRUST put in? Yeah, you can buy and sell 24/7, and they're cheap. Yeah. They're not like an exchange. They're institutional grade. So while everything else was freezing, yeah, ITRUST Capital probably wasn't, unless it was after, well, no, because they got 24/7. No, ITRUST Capital and Caleb and Brown, their orders was going through. It's the exchanges that are going to wind up freezing and stuff. So that's the whole point, is that you're probably not going to be able to like buy and sell the way you think if there's a volatility that hits. So that's something to think about. But yes, you can buy and sell crypto 24/7 with ITRUST Capital. And the fees are very, very low. They got the lowest fees in the industry, as a matter of fact, to be honest. You're going to have to, the same way you would, I don't have any crypto, honestly, on those type of brokerage accounts. So you'll have to go in there. I'm assuming it's the same way as anything else, is you have to put the wallet address in there. Get the wallet address from, like, if you have an ITRUST Capital account, get the wallet address from there. Or if you have a cold wallet, get the wallet address from there. And that's where you would send it. You would go into that account and you would find the button that says send crypto. Okay. And then there'll be something that pops up that tells you to put in an address, but that address is going to be retrieved from wherever you're sending it to. Okay. And I'm saying this very, very important, because I don't want anything to happen with you guys' crypto, especially during a time like this. And if you want to buy at lower prices, I think you better start planning, guys. You're going to get thrown off. Expect for volatility. I believe it's coming. And one of the things that I've been saying too, as well, I'm just looking at the comments. I use Ledger. Yeah, I have Ledger too. And I have XLM, I have XRP, I have ADA and Algo on my Ledger. Yep. So and they can hold that. Now HBAR, okay, HBAR is natively supported on Ledger Wallet app. And guess what? It wasn't at first, because you used to have to, like, a hash pack, or you know what I mean? Like you used to have to store it on like in a different way. They didn't have it where you can move it to cold wallet. So I love that. Thank you so much for your generosity. Do you know anything about Hash, Sonic, or Oasis? Not enough to really share about it as much. I have been looking into Hash, but again, you can't just buy some Hash on a regular exchange. I don't think you can. I don't know if I've seen it on a regular exchange currently. But I'll talk a little bit more about it, as I like to research stuff before I give my total opinion about it. I will be doing like I said, my top 10, because I do have my top 10. Yeah, it's on every wallet. Yeah, mine is stored. I'm trying to remember exactly where, because I've been invested in HBAR for a very long time. As a matter of fact, I think I shared this before. I was invested in HBAR so long that I couldn't even remember where I kept it. Like, because you couldn't use a cold wallet years ago for HBAR. And I was like, one day I was just sitting and it took me hours to try to figure out where did I put my HBAR? Like a big chunk of my HBAR, because I've been buying it for like years. So I just want to make sure. Yeah, I don't think ITRUST Capital serves international. I don't think they do. And I think that question has been asked a couple of times. I don't believe they do. I think it's only America. Yep, because somebody from Canada was asking me. But I want to confirm. I believe so. But I always double check because I get so many questions and sometimes I don't even remember what I said before or what I did. Oh, so you better know this. This is good for you to know. Webull makes you sell, no send option. And yes, iTrust Capital is only for US residents. So that's good to know, everybody, is that you can only sell. So man, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. For Caleb and Brown, there may be a minimum of $1,000. The thing about Caleb and Brown is I didn't have to deal with minimums because I moved my crypto straight over there. So I didn't put any money in there because I had a lot of crypto already, and my sell orders are over there. So I didn't have to necessarily put, because my crypto was the money that I was putting over there. So some people can move their crypto over, or you can invest. And maybe you're talking about, I don't know if this is a Caleb and Brown or if it is iTrust Capital, because iTrust Capital, you do have a minimum amount before they fund you, before they give you that $100 funding bonus, you do have a minimum amount. Okay. Somebody said, get in. And that's what I mean. Like, I'm telling you, sorry for the people who I don't do predictions. You are so right. For the people who can't get their stuff out of Webull. But I don't do predictions because, like, I can just tell you what I believe is going to happen. And I look at a lot of macro events. The charts are screaming as well. Waiting on the crash and shake out. I love it. The pipelines are laid. Overall, I'm bullish. Like, we are at the bottom. So you got to hear what I'm saying. Even though I'm waiting on a crash, I don't think the crash is like, we're at the bottom. This is the best. Even if we don't have a crash, we're at the bottom, right? Because RSI oversold. Like, we've already, the majority of the hurt and the frustration has happened already. Okay. So the last crash will just be a last shakeout. Like, we just got to get the residue, the over leverage, the scared, the fearful. We got to get them out of here, all of them, as much as we can. So we gotta do another. So if that happens, that will be the last shakeout, or it will be to transition into usage, into real utility, right? And that would be from like something like the reverse carry trade. If that were to pan out, I'm not saying it will, but we're at the bottom. So it doesn't matter if we have a crash or not. We're pretty much about to reverse at some point, I believe. Clarity Act coming up, guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is long term. This is going to go in the right direction eventually. So if you're not accumulating and I've been buying, whether it's a crash or not, I still buy. I buy. Right? When I have a little here, but I'm saying the large amounts of my money are at these limit orders, but I'm still buying every day. Don't get it twisted, you guys. This is a good buying place. Even we was just at $2 and it was like great place to buy. And now we at $1.40 something still. I'm not waiting on a crash. I'm just positioned for a crash. Don't get greedy. Do not get greedy. Because guess what? What if the market switches and it does start to go up from here? What if this is the bottom? You got to ask yourself that as well. See, that's the whole thing. You got to get rid of greed and you got to get rid of fear. Okay. You got to get rid of those emotions. And this will help you out a whole lot. $1.41, XRP, $1.41. Right? We was just at $1.51 a day or so ago. Good place to buy. I'm not waiting on a crash to buy. This is a good place to buy. But I do have limit orders set, so I'm prepared. Okay. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Tangent store, XRP, XL. Oh, yeah. I do have some HBAR on Tangent as well. Yeah. And Flair, nothing wrong with that. Love it. Love to see it. Love to hear it. I have a lot of crypto on my Tangent account. Okay. So I like Trezor as well. I do like Trezor. Okay. Yes. Minimum for Caleb and Brown, if you're doing money, is $1,000, but that's if you want to buy. Okay. If you want to sell, you can just move your crypto there. But absolutely. So just getting through a couple of questions, a couple of things. I see some crazy people in the chats, Lord, just trolling. Y'all just ain't got nothing else to do, huh? Anyway, right, time to ban some trolls. Absolutely. Y'all just bored right now? Y'all bored. Okay, I see it. Y'all are so bored. I'm gonna have to put y'all in timeout. Sorry. I gotta put you in timeout. All right. So I just put a couple of people in timeout. All right. Y'all just need a minute. Okay. Y'all need a minute. All right. Just looking at a few more comments. Yes, someone lost $3 million of XRP in a cold wallet, and they did, and my man, my heart goes out to him and his family. But he did unalive himself. I can't say the S word because they'll ban, they do things with that. But yes, he did. And I feel really bad about that because, yeah, I mean, some people are, hit some really low places with that. And I feel bad about that. But yes, someone did do that. And they got their money or their crypto taken from them on a cold wallet. And this is why I do say that, yeah, I did block. I put them on timeout. We'll see what happens. But what I will say is that that's why I have them in different places, because yes, it is possible to get scammed out of your cold wallet. Okay. So just make sure that you understand that. And yeah, I do. I'm gonna get one of you guys to moderate. Okay. Right. I'm gonna get one of you when I come on. I'm gonna pick one of you guys too, because yeah, because I had to put a few people in timeout. So I mean, don't worry about it. A lot of them can't. I was putting them all in timeout for now. And if right, very smart in word that just tickles my fan. Oh boy. All right. Looking at a couple of questions. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. And I'm gonna continue to come back here and let you know just what I'm doing, how I'm thinking through stuff. Again, we are seeing some things happen with Bitcoin that is changing behavior. And there are, I want to be clear when I say there are a lot of people who feel like it will not last. There's some people who think it could have a run, but still it might wind up crashing. And some people who just think it's going to outright crash. And then you got other people who just think like it'll wind up being fine. You have a lot of institutions that have Bitcoin. I'm just curious to know what's going to happen, like micro strategy. What's going to happen when if it does crash or it goes down? What happens? Are they buying? Because see, BMNR, like Tom Lee said, if Ethereum goes down, we can continue to buy. They're making a lot of money off of Ethereum. Remember, you can stake and make money off of Ethereum. So they got a lot of cash flow. And they said they'll be buying if it drops. And they're still buying while they're at these low amounts. And so, and Tom Lee did theirs right because they did not use any debt to buy Ethereum. So the way he's positioned with BMNR and Ethereum is totally different the way MicroStrategy is positioned in Bitcoin, right? So they went about things a very, very different way. I know I did timeout. See, y'all see, I'm a mom, so I'm like, okay, let me see if I can first do timeout or if y'all just completely need to be banned. You know what I'm saying? Thank you. I appreciate you guys. That's just my mom's heart coming out. Like, okay, some people is on here bored. Like maybe these are teenagers. You don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so, how you do the ding dong ditch and all of that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, if they not kids, they're acting like kids, right? So maybe they are kids. I don't know, right? So thank you so much. I appreciate this. And so it is again, I'm not giving you this for financial advice, but I am saying that right now, I personally believe, or this is what I'm doing with my money, is I am positioning myself in utility coins because, again, whether it's connected to Bitcoin or not, any way you want to spin this, I still think the utility coins will outperform Bitcoin. That's just me personally. You can tell me what you guys think. And it was about 80% around 130. XRP go to 80 cents. If it go to 80 cents, that'll be fine with me. I got some orders around 70 some cents and around 90 cents. So Michael Saylor just bought 2,500 Bitcoins. Well, good for him. I don't know what strategy he's using, but yeah, I wouldn't be personally, and don't get me wrong, if Bitcoin comes down to, I have levels even in the 4 digits. Like, I know I'm not saying it's going to crash to that point, but I will scoop up some Bitcoin if it comes down to low amounts. And we'll just see what happens with that. I do have some limit orders in. I'm just not buying it at this price because I think it's going to go lower. Right. So thank you. You're a gem, Camila. Thank you for all you're doing and for your people and others. I appreciate you guys. So just make sure that you guys are being prepared. Say, I try to be positive, guys, but don't worry. I will block people. Don't get me wrong. I just try to see where they at first. Okay. Say he is using the micro strategy. Yeah, you got that right. He not using macro strategy at all. All right. So let me answer this last question. If you're investing, how would you allocate XRP and HBAR by percentage? They're both at some amazing prices right now. It's not even about percentage. HBAR HBAR was at almost 35 cents or something on the highs. I can't even remember what the high was. And it's all the way down to like 10 cents. It's been down. I've been buying it. I bought it at 7 cents. It's so cheap right now. Like these utility coins are underperforming. So it's not a percentage or whatever, because honestly, my greatest investment, I think you guys know this, is XRP. Why? Why is that? Well, I want you to know why my greatest investment right now would be XRP. The reason why is because it sits above all the other altcoins and all the other utility coins at this moment. Why? Because it has legal clarity. It's gone through the court case and it's not a security. The other altcoins have to have the Clarity Act to be utilized. Now, I'm not saying that XRP don't need the Clarity Act, because it does, to go to, for it to benefit as well. But I believe that it sits aside everything else, because if we are in a liquidity crisis, XRP already has the clearing to be utilized. So right now, the utility on it, to me, is higher than the rest of them, because everything else needs regulation and rules. Also, if you notice today, and I didn't speak about this, the DEX, the built-in DEX on the XRPL, the XRP ledger, went live today. Many of you may not know what that means. What does that mean? That means they cut out the middleman. You can buy and sell and trade without the middleman. That's amazing. It just went live today, or I think around 4 o'clock or something like that. So it's always been built in, but you were never able to do it. That means you do not need Kraken, Coinbase, and an exchange to trade with people. You can do it person to person. And so it's a game changer. What the things that they're doing. All right. So if you follow exactly what's happening with them, it's profound. I like XPR network primarily because it's very difficult. You know how you're using these addresses to send crypto, and it's very difficult for people. They got to double check. If they one letter off, then their crypto is taken. And to put identity now on being able to, move your crypto is going to make it easier for the average person. So it's user friendly. So therefore, I think it has a place in being utilized. You know what I mean? So it's not in my top 10, but I'm saying I think that it's very much so needed, because these long, addresses are just not going to work for the average person. You know what I'm saying? Like 26 letters long. And XPR is trying to change that and trying to put identity and make it easier to send crypto back and forth. So that's something that needs to be utilized. And again, the way I look at assets are, can they be used? Are people actually going to use this? I agree here. I'm like trying to still figure out what kind of strategy that he had on that. And yeah, Chainlink, I love Chainlink as well. So I see some people went all in on XRP. Picking I might pick some up again. Okay, not anytime soon. Yep. So anyway, just prepare yourselves. All the links are in the description. Also, if you need more hands-on guidance, that's why I've opened up my coaching community, because we look over your portfolio, your blueprint. We talk about risk layering, macro awareness, things that that don't magically appear when the markets start moving. So we build it before the movement. And you have to look at these macro events. The charts right now are almost like supplemental information, but it cannot tell you the full story when you're talking about utility coins and institutional adoption and how these coins will be utilized, how these assets and technologies will be utilized in the coming days. We are in the middle of a transition of a global reset. XRP is in the middle of this. Why? It is totally neutral. It doesn't pick sides or anything. And banks will be able to communicate with each other. And Ripple is, you know, the way Ripple rolled this entire thing out with RippleNet. I think they did it in a magical way. Thank you so much. I appreciate this, Money D. Thank you. You are beautiful and amazing. I appreciate this. Thank you so much for your generosity and for just sewing into the channel. I appreciate you and wish you many blessings. Thank you so much again for your kind words. Yeah, I'll be back on to talk to you guys on Saturday about a little bit more that's going on. I'll talk some more macro events and some current events and some things that I want to share with you guys. In the meantime, though, you know, get ready. We are up for volatility, and you're going to be taking off your course on both ways. I think some people won't have a plan together when it takes off, and I don't think people are going to have a plan together if it were to crash. But I can tell you now, something is brewing. And if you can't see it, I don't know what else to say. Like, it's happening right in front of you all. We are in the middle of the biggest wealth transfer that we have ever experienced. And I'm talking everything under the sun. If you get into these assets and you're thinking long term, you're going to wind up with so much like freedom in your future, including you guys, small businesses. If small businesses are cutting expenses, using AI to be able to like, you know, not have to spend so much, investing and putting assets on their books, I'm telling you, they're going from a storefront to a bank in this next transition. Thank you so much for everything as well. And I appreciate your generosity. Get ready for the great reset. Get ready for the great wealth transfer. Continue to be educated, continue to show up. I'm going to continue to give you guys the information as much as I can. I will be talking, like I said, next week about my top 10 assets. And I don't like to just tell you things without explaining why. All right. Same way I did my top 5 assets. I will explain why these are my top 10 assets. And there are some things that I look for. Thank you so much. Thank you, Stock Holiday. I appreciate you so much. Greetings, little sis 100. I love to hear it. And you be blessed as well. I appreciate all of you guys, and I'll be back on to share some more things. Get ready for the great wealth transfer. Are you positioned? And as always, I want you to stay wise. I definitely want you to stay wealthy, and I'll see you in the next video.